right, only a couple more to go to make up the field for the Flying Childers with Richard.
Yeah, two Group 2s at different ends of the spectrum. This is a 5 furlong race for 2-year-olds. Flying Childers, just over half an hour, the Betfred Doncaster Cup Group 2 for the older horses, over 2 miles, 2 furlongs. Big Evs inching forward towards the stalls for Tom Marquand. Rocking and Rolling Rosario is the one that's upset in stall number 12, closest to us, and has gone in to assist. The last one forward will be Graceful Thunder. Completes what is now an 8-strong field for the Carlsberg Danish Pilsner Flying Childers Stakes over the minimum trip. They jump away, Rosario just a little slow out, Big Evs very fast, hit the gates running, and has immediately got a 2-length lead over the rest of the field. That field is headed by Malk in the pale blue and the grey, Graceful Thunder trying to give some chase. Behind these, Francis Menel is also racing keenly and has moved through into second. Killian holding the place a little better than Goodwood, on the right-hand side in 5th or 6th with Fool's Gold, Flora of Bermuda, and last of all is the slow-starting Rosario. Big Evs down towards halfway. Inside 11 seconds for that second furlong, with Graceful Thunder in second place. Then behind these, Francis Maynell. Big Evs is putting them to the sword a long way out here. Can he last home? Killian, Flora of Bermuda on the right-hand side, and Fool's Gold trying to improve in company with Rosario. Big Evs has burnt off the ones that were chasing. Can any of the closers get close? Rosario, Flora of Bermuda are heading the chase as the leader just begins to wobble, but Big Evs striding out purposefully. If the sponsors did sprinters, you'd make them look like Big Evs. Won the Flying Childers by 3 lengths. Flora of Bermuda in second, Rosario behind those was Malk all the way back to the remainder. Francis Menel last across the line. The key point about that is that those that chased Big Evs have been beaten an absolute mile. Flora of Bermuda and Rosario came from the back of the pack. Then Malk, Killian, Graceful Thunder, Fool's Gold, who briefly flattered, and then the horse Francis Menel, who was closest, and Big Evs took them apart from the stalls. 10.72 that second furlong, having jumped out with a 2-length advantage. Clearly none the worse for that blowout against the older horses in the Nunthorpe. Amongst his own generation, there are none faster than Big Evs.
He's won a Molecombe, a Windsor Castle at the Royal Meeting, and now a first Group 2 for trainer Mick Appleby. Well done to RP Racing. Wow, Richard referred to it there, Adele. His start was lightning quick.
I think Richard said he maybe even nicked 2 lengths at the start. We're just about to see it now. I've never seen anything come out of the stalls quite like it. I think it's the way he's so quick into his stride. Look at him, he's straight into the bridle. Tom kind of stood up straight away. He was that fast out, and my word, was that a powerhouse performance, because those horses that tried to keep up with the pace, Francis Maynell, one of them, ended up completely running out of petrol for trying to keep up with him. I mean, look at the stride on him as well. I mean, this was some performance, Jason.
Yeah, the Carlsberg Danish Pilsner Flying Chilsner.
Probably one of the best 5 furlong performances we've seen.
Yes.
If they made flying rockets, it would be like that, wouldn't it? How good was he? That was super. I'm chuffed for Mick Appleby. You know, for that squad to have a Royal Ascot winning juvenile, a glorious Goodwood winning juvenile. They rolled the dice. There's a wonderful story behind him with Big Evs, who's sadly no longer with us, and then he comes out and blitz them like that. Roll on the Breeders' Cup.
Yeah, the owners of the Teasdales, who we met before, you remember, at Goodwood, Paul and Rachel, you saw celebrating there. They're local as well. They're from Yorkshire. And as we've said before, and you refer there, Paul Evans is who this horse is named after, who they used to go racing with and lost far too early. But this horse, Francesca, could take them all to all sorts of places.
Yeah, well, it was right for the trainer to keep faith in him after he was disappointing in the Nunthorpe, and yes, back against his own sex. And clearly he was a much better horse today. I think York, we didn't really see the true showing of him, and I imagine he gave that man on top some feeling. Sally-Ann.
Tom Marquand just said to me, Francesca, that he went some welly, didn't he? Tom, I think that's probably the best way to describe Big Ev's performance there.
Yeah, look, he's obviously been a superstar for the team, Mick Appleby team this season. I think you just found out how bad the ground is. Look, he feels absolutely superb. Obviously, Jason's had the pleasure of riding him all season, and I'm pretty fortunate to have picked him up today, but that was a good performance. Like, there was never any doubt in my mind after going 10 strides that he was going to get beat. He felt that good. So.
Were you really expecting him to jump like he did out of the gates?
Yeah, I was hoping so. Obviously, I suppose Andrea rode him in the Nunthorpe against those older horses on fast ground, and look, it was tough for him that day. It's a hard race, and there's a reason not many 2-year-olds manage it. But look, I'd say it wasn't just through lack of ability that day. It was just ground and circumstances. So look, good that he's back on track today, and look, fantastic for the Mick Appleby team, because they do such a great job with so many of these horses.
Yeah, first son of first season star Blue Point. He's exciting. He's not a lot of him, but he could be anything. It could be more to come next year.
Yeah, he's a real speedball. As you say, there's not a ton of him, but he's all there in the right proportions, and bags of boot and the right heart too. So yeah, look, pleasure to be able to today.
Delighted for you. Well done, Tom.
Well, here is Mick Appleby and Paul and Rachel leading the horse in. Paul, you've already said to me, see you at Santa Anita for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. There won't be many who come out in the stalls faster.
No, we're delighted with his stalls and the way he gets out and the way he picks up very quickly. So, very excited about going to Santa Anita.
And with that early pace, I mean, I know the Americans will come out, but we know that genuinely we're better than them on the turf. He really will have a great chance in that race.
Yeah, we're excited. I think we came here to make sure we reconfirmed to ourselves it was worth going to take the horse all the way to California, because before the Nunthorpe we did think the Abbey was the route, and then we decided to check back and come here instead of the Abbey, and then give him a break before the Breeders' Cup.
And the story with this horse and the naming of him, every time he goes into this winner's enclosure, you must just say a little prayer.
Yeah, amazing, and to be fair, Big Evs himself, we had some fantastic days here. Going back nearly 20 years ago, we were guests on the morning line here with Channel 4 at Doncaster races, and we had some fantastic days here. Myself and Paul, who is Big Evs.
Well, you can upgrade now onto ITV and the opening show. Well done, Paul. It's terrific for you, and Mick Appleby getting a big win as well.
That is Madan Singh, who led up the winner today. He's getting drenched as well as Big Evs. Nigel, who also working with him, I think has drenched poor Madan, who's been around for a while, Adele.
He has. He actually used to lead me up. We worked together at Dandy Nichols, and he absolutely loves his horses, Madan. You know, he's got the biggest smile on his face, always gives them lots of pats, wins loads and loads of best turns out. He turns his horses out immaculately. He doesn't plat up Big Evs, but when he does turn his horses out, it turns out really well.
One at 9-4, Big Evs. Paul, will see you at Santa Anita. The Breeders' Cup, live on ITV, of course. Flora with a silver medal this time. She ran well.